So there's been a plethora of articles recently claiming that Andrew Yang is being supported by the alt-right. Now, I might do a main channel video on all this, but well, let's dive in and see if there's anything to this claim that all these publications are making. Mother Jones, here's why Andrew Yang's alt-right supporters think he's the 2020 candidate for white nationalist. Last month, Andrew Yang's 2020 presidential bid careened from out of nearly nowhere onto the 2020 Democrat debate stage in a matter of days. Until March 4th, the hashtag YangGang had mostly been quietly floating around Twitter, only occasionally guarding a peak of just hundreds of daily mentions. But on that day, it spiked into the thousands, according to metrics shared with Mother Jones and compiled by Zach Verdon, a partner at the pro-democracy independent researcher collective Guardians.ai. Verdon hypothesized that 4chan's poll, a discussion board notorious as a watering hole of racist and sexist internet trolls, was responsible for the so-called Yang Gang's Twitter explosion. He hypothesized. Okay, so they're not going to provide any information, any evidence of why he hypothesized this. So we're already off to a good start. But also, shouldn't an internet researcher be aware of Lefty Poll, the group of communists and other far-left posters who are also on Poll? Are they the ones supporting Yang? The media always seems to conveniently leave Lefty Poll out of this whenever they mention 4chan. In the immediate lead-up to the hashtag catching fire, people boosting Yang flooded the image board with absurdist, neon pink vaporware memes, backing his campaign and its centerpiece proposal to provide every American $1,000 monthly universal basic income. Are neon pink vaporware memes an alt-right thing now? Did the alt-right steal that one too? They've taken Pepe's, they've taken milk, they've taken clowns, they've taken the OK sign, they've taken thumbs up. Have they finally come to claim our pink vaporware memes too? While Yang and his campaign have disavowed racist backing, unsavory elements of his online support network have seized on tweets he sent that raise questions about white demography, and have reframed his central campaign plank as a tool to punish undocumented immigrants living in the United States and deter others from coming. Yang's campaign has argued the explosion in support on 4chan took place without their prodding, but it came in the days and weeks after he appeared on actor Joe Rogan's widely heard podcast and Tucker Carlson's Fox News show, both of which are popular on the message board and in other right-leaning online spaces. So maybe we get a little insight now onto why Yang is being treated this way by the media. They're upset that a candidate can be risen out of obscurity by appearing on a show like Joe Rogan's podcast. You see, Yang circumvented the old media gatekeepers, and now they're angry about it. That's why they're so quick to label him as racist. That's why they're so quick to label the new media as racist. While 4chan boosted Yang up the Democrats' 2020 ladder by helping him generate enthusiasm and exposure to net enough small donations to meet the party's qualification threshold for the first official debate, it also has become a theater for sloppy internet infighting over the dark horse candidate. Threads started by Yang supporters are full of others going at it over his candidacy and policies. The board's anti-Yang holdouts have started calling the site's pro-Yang emissaries shills, and pointed out the coordinated efforts from Yang Gang members to flood 4chan with pro-Yang posts and memes. Do Control-F and search for poll. They advertise the threads they make to each other so they can comment and make it look like Yang has lots of supporters, one poster wrote, directing others to search through pro-Yang Discord group chat logs they had archived. So this seems like the exact opposite of what the article is claiming. This shows that no, Poll does not have some natural inclination towards Yang, but that there are outside people trying to push Yang memes on them. That this is an artificial thing happening. That 4chan users' warning isn't a conspiracy. It's just so depressing that the year is 2019 and we have media publications talking about 4chan in any serious matter. Organized Yang groups have used Discord, a chat service, to stage deliberate raids on 4chan to evangelize for the candidate. The online battles have given rise to real-world harassment after 4chan users doxed and harassed Carly Riley, the Yang campaign's deputy chief of staff, over unproven claims, denied by the campaign that she led efforts to manipulate 4chan into supporting Yang. Again, this proves the opposite of what the article is claiming. Poll users are upset about what they perceive as an outside force pushing Yang memes upon them, so they harass and dox one of Yang's deputy campaign managers. So far, this article has only provided proof that a lot of Poll doesn't like Yang. Searching for Poll, or 4chan, on two pro-Yang Discord servers returned dozens of results, often accompanied by calls for users to create or post in threads about Yang. This is so weird. So far we have nothing but proof counter to the original claim. I don't understand what's going on here. One 4chaner involved, who declined to give his full name and asked to go by Lewis, is the creator of a pro-Yang Discord that boasts over 400 members. He said his strategy in flooding 4chan was aimed at helping the site's users share and create memes and videos boosting the campaign. So maybe I'm reading this wrong. I guess the author's hypothesis is that the outside Yang supporters tricked Poll into supporting Yang with memes. Okay, if that's the case, I think we don't have to worry about the alt-right anymore. I don't think we have to worry about that there's going to be some alt-right Poll takeover if some pink vaporware memes is all it takes to trick the racist into supporting a non-white candidate. So there you go, everyone. The alt-right is officially over. Lewis is, by his own description, an unlikely candidate to run a Yang Discord targeting 4chan. While many imagine Yang's internet supporters to reflect the underemployed or student-heavy demographics of younger internet posters, Lewis says he's a middle-aged man in North Carolina who makes an upper-class middle income. This has nothing to do with me wanting $1,000 a month, Lewis said, explaining that he wants a UBI not for himself, but because he cares about people. Wow, what a racist. Caring about other people. The communities of 4chan and 8chan, especially after the 2016 elections, have earned a reputation as virulent, racist, and sexist hubs for the alt-right. Alongside hateful memes and posts, you'll find a range of firmly right-wing political opinions, including white nationalist, white supremacist, fascist, libertarians, or some mashup of those ideologies. So again, of course, they leave out lefty Poll completely, but that's to be expected. But also, no, those places earned reputation of thriving off of edgy jokes. But when Trump won in 2016, the media's worldview was shattered, and they had to look for some explanation of how Trump won. So what happened? They blamed 4chan. They blamed YouTube. They blamed new media. Yang has also attracted a diverse and sometimes chaotic group of internet adherents. Beyond the centrist Democrats and Silicon Valley liberals, Yang has wooed through some traditional campaigning. He's garnered support among white nationalists, self-described white identitarians, and white supremacists. These groups either mildly disagree with the others or outright hate them. Okay, so we're still waiting on some evidence, or even an understanding of why they would support a non-white candidate, beyond they were tricked into it by pink vaporware memes. Messy is an understatement, said Lewis, pointing to one 4chan thread where white supremacists and white nationalists viciously debated whether Yang's politics had the potential to start a white revolution. So, are they arguing that Yang's UBI would get whites so angry that they would start a revolution? Is that why they're supporting Yang? Because they think he'll accidentally start a race war? If this article could just give us some information, that would be fantastic. The dynamics are convoluted and have left many observers and potential Yang allies confused, and many readers of this article as well. In a video about Yang supporters, for example, InfoWars' Miley Weaver inaccurately described a Yang Gang Discord as a leftist troll farm, despite the members of the group politically aligning much closer to InfoWars' own Alex Jones and his right-wing brand of conspiratorial politics. I guess we're just going to have to take your word for it, Mother Jones, because you're not providing any evidence or any links to what you're talking about. For all the infighting, there seems to be two areas where Yang's fringe internet supporters align, and what they see as his nods to white identity politics, which they interpret as his openness to white nationalism, and his plan for universal basic income, which they frame as a tool for white nationalism. Do you know what that means? I don't know what that means. With no context provided, this just sounds like word salad completely. To Lewis and other alt-right Yang supporters, his UBI plan would not only help people who are suffering economically, but since it would only go to citizens, they excitedly claim it could create a digital border wall. Critics of Yang's UBI plan have noted it could increase inflation, but to Lewis and others, that's another bonus. If everything costs more and only American citizens have access to UBI, then undocumented immigrants will have less economic incentive to come to the United States. If this is real, it's really, really stupid. Non-citizens aren't supposed to get most forms of government assistance as it is. And the inflation argument makes so little sense, it comes off as a joke. This seems to me like the Yang supporters are desperately trying to frame UBI in a way that will get the right wing and the alt-right people of Pol to support it. This seems like a joke. Like there's just a bunch of people pushing for Yang because of memes. At least from what this article has provided. That's what it seems like. That's all this article has provided me with. When asked about this element of his support, Yang's campaign pushed back sharply, pointing out that Yang is the son of Taiwanese immigrants and that he has no intention of harming or negatively impacting immigrants in any way. His campaign website endorses the DREAM Act and the Make Them Earn It pathway to citizenship. Well, there you go. He's clearly not a racist. He's clearly not even anti-immigration. Why would the media even bring up this supposed alt-right support? Is this Pepe all over again? Should Pol and the alt-right come out and support whoever wins the Democratic primary, just so the media denounces them? Are we giving the alt-right all the power here? Is that what's happening? But such statements haven't dissuaded racist supporters. White nationalist Discord communities, Yang groups, and 4chan supporters have seized on 2 Yang tweets addressing the demographic future of white people in America as evidence that he gets their white nationalist worldview. Okay, so we finally are presented with something supposedly resembling evidence. Deaths now outnumber births among white people in more than half the states in the country. Much of this is low birth rates and white men dying from substance abuse and suicide. Our life expectancy has declined for 3 years. We need to do much more. A New York Times article. Okay, so posting a New York Times article about problems the white community is facing is evidence. So I guess the alt-right is going to become pro-New York Times now. And all these outlets are going to talk about how the alt-right is now suddenly supporting the New York Times. Is that what's going to happen? Is that what's going to happen? Okay, let's see the next one. I know it's true for everyone, but I feel terrible and terrified for my Jewish friends. So many have lost family members to violence and anti-Semitism. It hits home for them like for very few others because of their history of persecution. Imagine having your worst fears realized. Yes, we know how much the alt-right is sympathetic to Jews. We have to turn around the hate. America is heading in the wrong direction, and we have to do much more and think much bigger about possible solutions. Improving rhetoric will help, but will not address the root causes. America is set to become a majority minority by 2045. That's 27 years from now. This will be a truly dangerous time, particularly as we are decimating the most common middle-class jobs, retail, truck drivers, etc. Economic stress adds to social polarization and violence. I don't see it. I don't see it. Yang's tweets are warning of a potential problem. It's like when Jordan Peterson warned that if white people adapt identity politics again, they will win. This is not something Peterson said as an endorsement. He said it as a warning. Also notice that Mother Jones cuts out the first tweet, where he talks about anti-Semitism. So, that's nice. That's real nice. In an interview with Mother Jones, Yang denied any intent behind the post to pander to or to stroke support from racist communities. I spend literally 0 time on Discord chats. I would hope every potential candidate for president spends 0 time on Discord chats. So I have no idea how various things are being interpreted, he said, addressing the February post. He said it was me tweeting a New York Times article with that stat. Exactly. Look, people are dying more than they're being born in other parts of the country. This is something we need to take seriously. I'm concerned about any American having health problems and any communities that are suffering from massive public health concerns. He said his October tweet about the country's coming demographic flip was predicated on a concern that as the country becomes more diverse, it's not necessarily becoming more welcoming. Exactly. It's not complicated, guys. It's not that complicated. Regardless of Yang's stated intent, okay, because remember, in modern social justice times, your intent doesn't matter. The posts have pulled in white nationalists like Richard Spencer and Nick Fuentes, who have retweeted them or signaled their support of him. So I talked about these tweets in a previous video, and again, this doesn't look like support to me. Spencer and Fuentes saying the country is doomed via Yang's worldview is not support in my eyes. It's an admission of defeat. Is this really the best the media can come up with? Their pro-Yang sentiment has trickled down into the white supremacist rank and file according to leaked Discord chat logs published by the left-wing media nonprofit Unicorn Riot. So Unicorn Riot, a pro-Antifa organization, published Discord logs that supposedly show an alt-right Discord supporting Andrew Yang. Now, if you look at their site, they say they have 7,700,000 messages. And of the 7,700,000 messages, if you search for Yang, you find 36 that mention Andrew Yang by name. And of these 36 messages, only 13 seem positive. So 13 messages out of 7,700,000 messages means the alt-right is supporting Andrew Yang. Yep. That's it. That's the basis of this story. 0.0017% of messages were supporting Andrew Yang in an alt-right Discord. This is the supposed evidence for this article. I feel that Trump sold us out, Lewis, the Yang Discord founder, said, bluntly before framing some participants' support of Yang as an attempt to pressure the president. There's a decent amount of people involved in the Discord server that just want to agitate for a better deal. If he thinks we'd abandon him, perhaps he will do more for us. So this is interesting, because it goes back to what I've always said on the live streams, that there were lots of people supporting Trump not because they're racist, but because they're anti-establishment. And since the housing crash, people have viewed the system as inherently corrupt and broken, and want to support a candidate who promises to overthrow everything, to flip the system on its head. Trump represented that in 2016, and maybe Yang represents that in 2020. Despite these backers, Yang has explicitly forsworn support from anyone who supports white supremacy and white nationalism, a message he reiterated to Mother Jones. Yes, it's shocking that an Asian guy doesn't support white nationalism. I've already disavowed any racist and hateful ideologies. I don't want their support, he said, urging anyone curious about him to review his policy platform. They reflect progressive policies up and down. No one has to guess what I stand for. While Yang says he's surprised by his popularity on the darker corners of the internet, not everyone is convinced that it happened without some degree of conscious nurturing. Yang's popularity with the crowd was preceded by his appearance on podcasts popular with the types of people who hang out on 4chan, including Rogan's and one hosted by Sam Harris, a polemist and moral philosopher who trained as a neuroscientist. This is crazy. Both Joe Rogan and Sam Harris are firmly on the left politically. It's disgusting to me how the media labels or implies any liberal who's anti-social justice warrior as either far-right or alt-right adjacent, or some kind of evil provocateur. It really disgusts me. Beyond his appearance on Carlson's Fox News show, he's also taped a conversation with right-wing internet personality and podcaster Ben Shapiro. Now, I haven't seen the Tucker Carlson interview, but Ben disagreed with basically all of Yang's positions. So, are we not allowed to talk to people that disagree with us anymore? Is that what's happening? There's something signaling there, said Daniel Lee Thomas, who researches technology and populism at Columbia School of Journalism. I don't know of other candidates who go on Joe Rogan. Yang is definitely targeting these concepts and ideas that are salient in the intellectual dark web and internet cultures adjacent to it, she continued. First of all, Tulsi Gabbard also went on Joe Rogan. Okay, before Yang went on Joe Rogan. Second, the way she says that, I don't know of other candidates who go on Joe Rogan. It's like they're really trying to link the intellectual dark web to the alt-right. They're trying so hard to link a group that was named by Eric Weinstein, who's Jewish, to the alt-right. The Yang campaign's communications director, Madeline Sammons, denied the appearances were any sort of attempt to court elements of the host's audience, and are apiece with the long-shot candidate's thirst for media attention. Does the alt-right even like Joe Rogan? Whenever he talks about it, he's firmly against the alt-right. He's also anti-Trump. Mother Jones and these outlets, they can just make these statements with no evidence. It's very difficult when you're running for president and don't get attention from the mainstream media. Whatever media he could get to spread his message, he would do. It was not signaling. It was, how do we spread the message in an unconventional way, she said. We are in a place where we are more aware of the media hits that we choose, but we're not going to shy away from tough questions in tough situations. C, they reveal their hand by ending with this quote. They want to link all alternative media with the alt-right. That's these publications' goal. They're afraid of YouTube, they're afraid of these podcasts that are getting bigger and bigger, while online publications are getting smaller and smaller. See, Mother Jones and these other publications, they just want to make it so that candidates in the future will just not want to be on Joe Rogan. They don't want to have to even try to attempt to defend themselves of these claims of being alt-right linked or appealing to the alt-right. That's what's going on here. They're just trying to kill Joe Rogan and other alternative media people's ability to get candidates and other people to show up on their shows. That's really what's going on here. And no, Mother Jones, I will not be donating to this fake news website.